As we all know, 3 members of the squad have endorsed Bernie Sanders. However, Ayanna Pressley held out until today, and she has gone in a different direction. She is endorsing Senator Elizabeth Warren. Let's watch.
The American people deserve to be represented by elected officials who see them, who listen to them, and who fight for them. I have seen Elizabeth in small church basements and in packed gymnasiums, and she is consistent. She never loses sight of the people. You've all heard about the senator's plans, but here's the thing. The plans are about power. Who has it, who refuses to let it go, and who deserves more of it. For Elizabeth and for me, power belongs in the hands of the people. That's why she's fighting for fundamental change that restores power to those who've been left behind and centers those who've never had access to it in the first place. This election is a fight for the very soul of our nation. Elizabeth knows how to fight, and she knows how to win. I'm proud to call her my senator. I can't wait to call her our president. I'm Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, and I represent the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District, and I'm proud to endorse Elizabeth Warren for president. Big structural change. Can't wait. Let's get to work.
So one of the tweets, actually the tweet that received the most likes following this announcement was AOC's response to Ayanna Pressley's endorsement. And remember, Representative Ocasio-Cortez has endorsed Bernie Sanders, so they have different candidates that they're endorsing.
Was the response okay, boomer?
No.
No?
The response, and I'm so appreciative of this response, and I think that we need more of this in this race, right? Regardless of who you're supporting. It was a heart emoji. Okay, so it's showing solidarity, it's showing that you can have a disagreement in regard to who you support, and you can debate the policies. I think that's important. You can critique the policies. I think that's important. But I don't like demonizing people who might disagree with you on who to endorse. I don't like going out of your way to needlessly demonize Warren or Bernie, regardless of where you stand. I think it's really unhealthy, and it really turns me off, especially on Twitter. Look, I've been critical of many of Warren's approaches, especially when it comes to how she intends to pay for Medicare for all. But that doesn't mean that I hate her as a person. I don't think she's the same as Hillary Clinton. I like Bernie more because I'm to the left of Warren. And that's okay, that's okay. Doesn't mean I need to demonize her or make her out to be something that she's not.
Yeah, my reaction when I saw that was, that's too bad. And that was about as far as it went. I wasn't shocked by it. I mean, you can explain it in a number of different ways, which maybe we'll get into, but I like when I see something and I feel my initial reaction, I look to the progressives that I admire the most and see their reaction. And AOC is obviously very high up on that list, and she had the heart because she doesn't all of a sudden hate Ayanna Pressley. And Ilhan Omar responded with a heart because she's still gonna work with him. And the thing is, honestly, while I disagree with Ayanna Pressley. I think that if big structural change can't wait, then I would support Bernie Sanders. I do kind of get it. She's in the same state and all of that, and she's a free thinking person who can support whoever she wants. And at the end of the day, if the candidate ends up being Bernie Sanders, Ayanna Pressley is going to campaign for Bernie Sanders. And if it ends up being Warren, AOC and Ilhan are going to campaign for Warren. And Bernie is too, and if it's Bernie, Warren is going to. They don't hate each other, however much some people online might want them to. They obviously disagree, and Bernie wants to be president and Warren wants to be president. They have a pretty fundamental disagreement there, but they will end up supporting the other one if it ends up being them.
Yeah, there was much ado last cycle with Warren's endorsement of Hillary early on, and there have been some criticism, some good, some less so.
Not during the primaries though. Warren didn't endorse anyone during the primaries. She waited until after after Hillary Clinton had already secured the nomination.
But there's still people online who will drag her for that endorsement still. And I like AOC's tweet and the way she's setting the tone that we can have disagreements on the margins, and Twitter exists so we can have all these disagreements forever for the end of history. But think outside of yourself for a moment if you're one of these people online. Ayanna Pressley and AOC, or even Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, on the political spectrum in the United States are so close to each other compared to what we're fighting in 2020 that these differences on the margins, we need to be able to kind of come together and
definitely.
get ready for that. Because 2020 is going to be a fight. We saw just today the results of 2019's elections, and it's looking kind of good for Democrats. But if we're still splintered and arguing over who sent the endorsement at which time and for which person who's slightly left the other person that is, there's differences there, but ultimately, like, I would be happy with a Sanders presidency. I'd be happy with a Warren presidency. I'd be happy if they're on the same ticket. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. But I think we should just be fine and respect Ayanna Pressley's decision. Like you said, there are like local contexts to this. Maybe she wants that Senate seat in the future.
Yeah, it's not a winning strategy to go after Ayanna Pressley and demonize her because she didn't support the candidate you want. Look, it's one endorsement. Like, endorsements are cool and everything. They don't make or break an election, and so everything's going to be fine. I personally have a disagreement. I think that, again, I think you brought up a great point. If you want structural change, that is exactly what Bernie is running on. I mean, he's talking about real structural change, and it is interesting to see, Warren take on some of his language. And one of the biggest criticisms in comparing Bernie Sanders to Elizabeth Warren is that Bernie Sanders is about empowering the American worker, whereas Warren is more about protecting the American worker. And now all of a sudden you're hearing her use power language, which I think is fascinating. But nonetheless, I mean, look at the policies. They're very similar, but there are different approaches. And I do think that Bernie is to the left of Warren, especially when it comes to canceling all student loan debt and things like that. So I think we can have these civil arguments, debates, disagreements, conversations, but at the end of the day, you need to know who your true enemies are, and it's not people who are supporting a progressive candidate.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.